Hey guys, Surf Shot Midget here. So I am doing a video on Devin's Amoeba. Now, as you can see, there's a hose sticking out of the grip. So he got a V12 engine made by Valken. Now, if you guys are subscribed to me, most likely you've seen my V12. I love the V12 engine. It's a super budget HBA engine. And I'll get into the pros and cons of the engine. So if this is a video that you're watching to see if the V12 is worth it, I'll go into the features and the cons of the engine. So that'll be more at the end, but right now I'm going to go over the gun specifically. So we have the base gun is an Amoeba, okay, AM009. So the same type of Amoeba that I have. So we have the Amoeba stock on here. Now he does have a second lower receiver for this gun, which is the original Amoeba lower. It is an AEG, it's just straight AEG. It's got an SHS motor and bearings in it. Everything else is stock. So he's going to have an AEG lower and an HPA lower so that he can go back and forth between AEG and HPA depending on if he's playing indoors, outdoors, or even if he has tanks filled or not. That's mainly what's going to hinder him, and he's going to have to use an AEG lower if his tanks aren't full. So, it's great to have the ability to use both just in case. So the upper receiver here is the Amoeba upper receiver. The lower receiver is actually an Elite Force M4 lower. So it's one of it's OEM Aries, but it's marketed as Elite Force. So they're compatible bodies, so good fit, perfect fit. The one thing that did not work is the V12 engine would not go inside of this upper because of the charging handle. So we just removed the charging handle completely. We could probably modify it with the Dremel so that the charging handle fit, but honestly, he didn't care. It wasn't worth it. You can adjust your hop up here. There's no fake bolt you have to move or hold back. You don't have to hold the charging handle back. It's literally just there, so you can adjust it very easily on the fly. So it's still tan body. We have a Tango Down style pistol grip with a in-grip line hose, so it's built in. No leaks out of this. The hose, or the QD nipple or whatever they call it, that comes with the HPA engine actually leaked on here. So I don't know why, but one of the guys that lives around the field that's always here, he hooked us up with a in-grip line hose. I'm not sure if it's made by Valken or not, or who's it made by. I would assume it's Valken. And it fit right in there, so it's literally built into the base plate. Instead of like mine, see how it's movable? I really do like this one better. Then he has a standard red dot reflex sight. It has multiple different reticules. It's got 4 and 5 different brightness settings, red and green. It's just a basic red dot. He's not going to be running this red dot until he gets a sight protector. So the sight protector is going to go right in front of it. So once he purchases a sight protector, he's going to play with this optic on here. And obviously it's the Amoeba front end. He has a hand stop on the front, a rubber hand stop. He does have a lot of rails on here. I'd probably recommend taking them off, but honestly, it's not a big deal. He has a Night Evolution flashlight. It's a thumb mount, so you can just unscrew it with your thumb so you can ditch it if you need to. It's got a button on the back. It's not too bright, but for indoors, it's fine, honestly. For indoors, you're good. Now, if you're playing outdoors, I don't know. I've never used this outdoors, but if you're playing outdoors and it's dark, I don't know if it's going to shine very well. But actually, I've heard some people prefer lights that aren't so bright, so when you're actually playing outdoors, you can see your target, but it's not so bright that they know exactly where you're at. I've heard people say that. I honestly don't care. I don't know. He might have a pressure pad. He might get a pressure pad. One of the guys here has a pressure pad that he said that he would give to Devin, so I don't know if he's going to use that. If he does, he's going to move this to this side, and then the pressure pad's going to probably be put like right up here where his thumb's going to go. Hand stop probably on the top there, and he might actually remove this and put it up a little bit further. So I don't know if he plans on doing that or not. Either one, honestly, is fine, but it's for whatever works for him. And then on the end, there's a Valken tactical suppressor. It is not foam filled. On the inside of the gun, we have a G&G hop-up unit, a Lonex 50-degree bucking, and the stock inner barrel. I think that's it. Now, the engine itself, I will mention the settings. These are very, very easy to adjust the settings. It's basically just with trigger pulls. If you don't know, there's no FCU inside of the buffer tube, so literally it's just the wires. Okay, so it's just a JST connector. There's a 350 milliamp JST battery in here, 7.4. It's good to go. Keeps its charge. When you go from safe to semi, it actually blinks red, so you know you're ready to fire. I did shorten the trigger pull to about half what it is stock, but it's still not super, super short. It's as short as I could put. I literally just cut a piece of plastic, glued it in there, and we put it together. And he said it was short enough, so that's good to go. One good thing about shortening the trigger pull on these specific engines is that when it's on safe, that the engine is completely dead, so it still doesn't fire, even when you shorten the trigger pull. Not all HPA engines are like that, especially with AEGs. It's more along the lines of AEGs, that when you shorten the trigger pull, the safety doesn't always work. Most of the time it doesn't. Okay, what else? Unless you're using a BTC. BTCs will work on safe. So the air rig, he's using my air rig currently. I have a Ninja regulator. Gosh, I think this is amped. It's the logo somewhere. Yeah, the logo's faded. It's an amped American flag colored line. We have it at, let me check the PSI. It looks like it went up, but there's no way it's that high. Okay, we're at about 100 PSI. So that's what we're going to shoot it at. Let me go ahead and, we're at a little over 1,000 PSI, so not much air. This engine is kind of an air hog, I will mention that. That is one of the cons about this engine, that it's an air hog. So the setting wise, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what it's at. I'll tell you what I have mine at, and I kind of copied it. I have my green at 12, I think it's 12. I have the rate of fire set for 35 RPS. I have the sniper mode set. A lot of people would just call it closed bolt. That's what a lot of other engines call it, closed bolt. So, but they call it sniper mode. So we have sniper mode set on my gun. The blue setting's on 4. The dwell, which is the red, is on 2. And then everything else honestly doesn't really matter. I mean, a lot of it is going to matter when you tune your gun, but those are the main settings that I will mention. He has his set for, the green is on 14 if I'm not mistaken, it might be 12. The rate of fire set for 25, and it shoots pretty dang good at 25. It did feed at 30, we tried it at 30, but the hop-up bucking just doesn't, there's not enough contact and the BBs start to drop. So we sighted in at, like, let's say 150 feet, and then when you switch it to full, max range is like 100. The BBs just don't go as far. With mine's not like that. Mine actually hops the BBs. In fact, it kind of over-hops the BBs a little more on high rate of fire, like 35 a second. But, I won't be using 35 a second very often. But mine does feed on 35, his feeds at 25, and his shoots well at 25, and mine shoots well at 35. If I put it to 30, it shoots better. It's okay. It depends on who you are, but a lot of people would probably say, oh, that's not shooting so good. But big bet I can hit people, because you're just launching a bunch of BBs down range, and that's the point of full auto when you're shooting that fast, right? So that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to mention. Again, it's an air hog. We have it set for, let me check again. It's very, very cold out here, so my tank is pretty cold. So, okay, so we're at 100 PSI. At 100 PSI, it shoots about 320 FPS with a .2. And yeah, so with mine, I actually drilled my nozzle out. I forgot to mention that. I drilled the nozzle out, stock nozzle, and it shoots too hot. But I put an Amoeba wide bore barrel in there. So if you drill out your nozzle and you're playing indoors, it's going to be kind of hard. Some people will set their PSI. I set my PSI once at 70, and it was, I think it was 350 with the tube, but it just didn't work very well. The engine at lower PSIs don't work very well, and I've seen people run jacks and F1s at like 60 PSI, and even fusion engines, and they run 100%. So that's one con about this engine. It doesn't seem to work under 80 PSI under any circumstance. Now, some people will probably shim their poppets and do all that sort of stuff and be able to get it to shoot under that PSI. But in my experience, have not been able to do it. So this is a great outdoor engine. Although I have seen people use it indoors, but our limit here is 380, and if you're playing at 380 to 400 indoors, you're good to go. You can use the V12. So we're going to go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to go ahead and carry the stuff out there. If you want to get the camera, I'll just take this all outside. We're going to shoot it with K120s. He's got 2 K120s and then 3 Elite Force mid caps, and then he has a few high caps, but we want the mid caps to work mainly. Alright, we're going to shoot over here, but I'll bring this. Okay, so I'm just going to shoot straight down. You want to put your plate here, Aaron? I'll go ahead and go get the masks real quick. I forgot those. Just put that on. Alright, so we got our speed soft gear on. We have not sighted it in yet, but I'll turn it on. If you want to just tell me where it's shooting, I'll shoot one mag out of it and you can shoot a mag. Is that okay? We should have enough air for that, but we'll probably go fill our air tanks up tomorrow. It shoots pretty dang good. Dude, that is perfect. So as you can see right there, it's a very responsive engine. If you get a V12 or an F1, an Inferno, an SMP, a Jack, out of the box, none of those engines are going to shoot as quick as this on semi-automatic. You have to go into the FCU. On the Jack and the F1, you can adjust the quickness that you can fire the gun. You have to set it for basically 0. As fast as you pull the trigger, there's no delay. So you have to change that in your settings, whereas this stock is as quick as you can go. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and hit a clip. If you just want to turn around, I'll just shoot like this. Okay, let me put my mask on. Okay, so again, we're running about 100 psi. Let me go ahead and check again just to confirm. Okay, we're running about 100 psi. 100 seems to be good stock for indoors. It shoots about 330 to 350 with a .2. That's what we're using, .2s, G&G .2s. I'm going to go ahead and do a behind the gun look. So that is shooting very, very good. And the trigger response is great. Okay, let's try full auto. Yeah, perfect. Perfect feeding on this at 25 a second. There is no malfunctions at all. Alright, so there's the hose. Okay, so that is that. I hope you guys can see on video, but this thing shoots incredibly well. I don't think there was any hiccups. There might have been a few that sounded a little weird, but these K120s actually feed inside of this gun very, very well.